What's up, everybody? It's Alex from Heavy New York. We are back at the Knitting Factory for the second day in a row. Right now, that's tier sound testing. But today, we are here with Orphaned Land. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me here. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's great because a lot of people have been going crazy over Unsung Prophets and Dead Messiah. For you, how was the recording and everything been with the record?
So far, I would say it's it's my second album with the band though, but the reactions were worth it all that it took us 5 years to release that one, but it's truly worth it because people say it's our best album so far, so I'm like, wow. It was worth to wait for it because I was very impatient to release it and to put out music very fast after all this one. I'm young, I want to do it everything and I want to do it now, so it's good that the guys made me wait.
Yeah, it's funny. This was like the first Orphaned Land record in 5 years, right?
Yeah.
And Tier, I think, is in the same thing. They're releasing their first record in 5 years.
Yeah. I mean, I hate when stuff take too long, but I guess it's worth it.
Yeah.
I remember the material when in their first versions. It's not as near as it is in the final results. Like, they were much shorter and more to the point, and they didn't feel like a story. They were just a bunch of songs. And now they're an actual story that tells something.
That's beautiful to hear. Now, being that there was like a story to tell with this record, did you guys think of the story first and write the songs according to that, or did you have to hear the music first before you came up with the concept?
Yeah, it's in Orphaned Land, for every album, I would say it was always the music first. Because sometimes you get like a theme and an idea or something, but it's usually the music that tells the story. That if you could take out the lyrics and not use any vocals on the album, the music could still present the story in kind of a way that you'd feel what's going on in that part of the album. So after we just had all the music done, like written, and then Kobe stepped in and he had the idea in mind once he had all the songs in line, and he could just sort them in matter of the story.
Okay.
Yeah.
That because I've heard a lot of concept albums before. They have to think of the concept first before they even write a single note. It's cool that you guys think of the concept after you hear the music.
Yeah. We wanted to try for the future album like something different. First to bring the idea of the lyrics first, and then bring the music into the lyrical idea. But we'll see.
Yeah. Now, being that this was the first Orphaned Land record in 5 years, like, was it more of like a fresh start when writing the record, as opposed to just like kind of picking up where you left off?
It is. It is like some sort of a fresh kind of way to approach an album, since the band has new people in the lineup. Like, I was there for the previous album, but now we have Idan, and he brought a lot into the album as well. And he put out his. We were sitting by his studio. He has a studio, so that gave us lots of time to sit there and. We were not rushed by anything, studio times. We gotta be awake and finish by 10 because the studio time, and we didn't have that. We just did whatever we could, did the best we can, and I think that's why it turned out so good. We had time.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, all great things do take time.
Yeah.
Sometimes a band rushes a record and it sounds awful.
It sounds like you can hear when it's rushed. You can hear when it's thought through, pretty much.
Exactly. Now, being that you guys are from Israel, I mean, from hearing your music, like I could tell that like I have a lot of family and friends from Israel, and they like said that there's like that certain style of music, and I hear it in Orphaned Land. How much does being a metal band from Israel influence the music?
I would say everything, pretty much. I would love, honestly, to have my music sound like Guns N' Roses in most cases, but the place we live in, this region, it's full of good things and bad things at the same time. So those bad things are something that really needs to be changed, and we can't just sit aside and look at that and say, okay, it's happening, fuck that, we don't care. We realized that music is a tool to change that. So we just figured if we live in Israel, we just gotta do what's fitting to what we do like in our country. Like you take a Viking metal band from Finland or Sweden, they would sing about their ancestors or whatever happened there. So we have a chance to talk about what's happening in our place.
And it's interesting because, Israel is considered to be like the Holy Land, so there's a lot of religious elements there, and with the political elements there's a lot of that. Do you tackle both subjects, or is there like ever like a specific subject you choose to focus on?
We try to we base pretty much on the same idea most of the time of people failing to see that we're all basically humans, whatever religion you choose to believe in or with. This is pretty much an idea we try to tell in various ways. Like you take all of the albums of Orphaned Land, they're telling the same story, but from a different perspective.
Okay.
I'd say. So we just try to attack it with a different kind of story, like our warrior is telling about the warrior of light, how one chooses to see the light instead of the dark. Unsung prophets and dead messiahs, how we're blinded by the system and we're okay with that. All is one, that we fail to see that we're all humans. It's all basically around the same subject, but just attacked from different directions and stories.
And you brought up my next question, actually, because you do kind of like to tackle the same story. With every Orphaned Land album, I know it's only your second record, but with every Orphaned Land record, did that help since the story was consistent? Did the sound stay consistent throughout the discography, or was there ever a time where you wanted to adjust your sound and add different elements in there?
Regarding the sound, I would say it's more of just as musicians, as we grow, we just like other stuff. When we get more involved with other kinds of music, the musicians we meet along the way and stuff we get to know. With, like you take like Unsung Prophets and Dead Messiahs. We were at the time very into Hammond Hammond keyboards and rock organs, all those stuff, and we figured that we can take those kind of sounds that you use in rock music and 70s prog music, and use it with quarter tones, something with Middle Eastern which no one has ever tried. So every time we just have like a new inspiration that we just want to bring in the music, and it's everything is evolving as a musician. You just want to try shit.
Absolutely. And the final question I want to ask before we end, and I want to thank you so much for your time. Going back to Israel, as I mentioned, I have family there, and they actually tell me that metal in Israel is very popular, and I've heard
thriving.
That's what I've been hearing. I know plenty of bands that play there, and they said the shows are incredible.
Yeah.
So, okay, tell me about the Israeli metal scene.
I mean, like, just today we got to know the guys from Tyr, and they told us they were as well in Israel twice. And we weren't there, sadly, to see them, but they told us it was fucking crazy. And I personally know, like, for me, I'm already sold out. Like, it's my home, and I enjoy being there. And we're touring around the world, but I feel most nervous when I'm performing in Israel, because I know the crowd is so loving, and we're very open in our Facebook pages, obviously in the social media. People can write us, they bring us gifts, they're like family. Eventually it's a different experience, I'd say, than I've experienced in most of the world where we toured. Israel is very giving.
That's beautiful to hear.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you so much for your
Thanks,
time.
man.
Everybody,
Awesome.
we are here with Orphaned Land. Catch them on their tour with Tyr and pick up their latest record, Unsung Prophets and Dead Messiah, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time.